Hello, welcome to this little update to BlitPaint. What I've changed here is there is some scatter effects. There's now up to 10 layers, and I've fixed a few problems I had before with little things, bugs and whatnot, but there is still a few bugs with it, namely the transparency isn't perfect just yet, but I'm working on it and it's a hard thing to get right. So let's get started. I'll show you the new brushes. First of all, I've reorganized things a little bit. Just bring that catch up to the top there. So we've got our usual brushes, scatter and scatter by pressure. Lets you kind of scatter wider as you press the pen down. That's the first thing. You know that if you choose two colors, it's going to go between those two tones. Okay. If I press F3, we've got these new kind of Ghibli style brushes that I'm working on. So I'm just looking at various Ghibli artwork and trying to make little sets. So this is like little kind of leafy grass type stuff here, and you can vary the colors quite easily by choosing a couple of base color ranges. Between white and blue will give you more kind of variation in tone between those. The base color, when you click white and white on Control and Alt, it will show you the actual base color of it. So anything else is just a tint of that. Right? It can only be tinted, and the range is between the two colors. So yeah, it gives you the full range that you want there. If you want to make it follow, do Control and R will switch it 90 degrees, right? But Shift and R will switch it onto follow mode, where it will kind of follow the mouse, right? And you might have to offset that to make it work the way you want. It's more like it. Okay, so Control and R flips this. You see it adds 90 degrees each time. Tells you the angle up here. Forget about the UI at the minute, it's still a work in progress. A lot of things are being tested, very early version. So we've got these little flowers, and you can see they've been tinted between blue. So you can get a lot of range from these if you choose the two tint tones. White mainly, because white will give you the base of everything. So there's just like this kind of pink and white ones. But whatever two tones you choose, it's going to kind of tint between those. And you see they get a little bit dull, but that might be an effect that you like. F5, we have got little poppies. F6, got little whimsical in the wind type leaves, as I like to call them, but you can use these for anything. Let's see, so if I do Control R and then Shift R, you can see now I'm going to scatter by pressure. I can really make these kind of fly, and I can choose a couple of tones and get different color range. Let's try a really blue and yellow. Yeah, it gives us loads of color range. Both on white gives us the base color. A couple of brownish tones. So you can see you can get a lot out of those. F7 gives us little grass blades. Now what ninja brushing is, that is going to increase the size of that particular brush stroke as you go faster. Yeah, so it's a quick way of getting a big size just to move really quickly, right? Otherwise it goes really small. You see the speed changes that, so that's what ninja brushing is. It's a bit funky when you use no spacing with ninja brushing. You can actually make really nice ant legs, I found out. So let me show you this because it's quite interesting. If I turn all the scattering off, catch up will make it a little bit, no, keep catch up fast. Yeah, I kind of seen it there. It's not really showing it anymore. Okay. It did, yeah. You can kind of see it there. It's like it's got these little decrements through it, and I think that's really cool for making like ant legs. Oh yeah, and by the way, there's loads of undos. Press enter. It's going to redraw everything, which is kind of cool. There's a memory count here of the number of plots, so 719 plots out of 10,000. I'm going to increase this or give you options of how much memory you want. After it's run out of memory, it's going to bake everything down into layer 0, or the background. It's going to just bake everything down, so you can't undo anymore. It just bakes it all down, it merges it all down for you, and that resets the memory, gives you more undos. So that's kind of a feature. You might think it's a bug later on, but it's a feature. What else have I added? I've got these little leaves here. So I added those in, and they are just like a generic greyish colour, kind of like that. So you can go between a couple of tones and get loads of variation from those. Nice autumn leaves. And again, if you press Control R, you can flip it 90 degrees, and Shift R will turn on follow mode, and you can make nice little patterns with that. So layers, to get the different layers, press up, the up arrow key, and as you can see, I'll paint here, and down arrow key, let's choose different couple of colors, and you can see I can paint under. I can now paint under things, which is great. Up a couple of layers, I can paint in front of both of those. So that is that. F9 is kind of like a regular little brush that just has a bit of a splodge to it, so that's quite nice for kind of furry, fuzzy stuff, or the starting point for some kind of moss or clouds, like that. And you can change the rotational range. That is so just now this line is pointing upwards, so the rotational range is going to be like an arc left to right. Now the best way to show you this is through the grass brush. Let's just make that big enough. Yeah. So rotational range a bit higher. You can see it goes more wide. So let's bring that spacing up a bit. Oh, down a bit, quite like that. Quite frequent. Right, so you can choose your two tones. Like that. And then you can even make that a bit smaller. And smaller again to the point that it's all kind of straight. And even mix it up a bit. It will remember the settings, so if you go away from it and back to it, it's going to remember the settings of that. What else have we got? Scatter, you can use scatter on that as well. Yeah, that will just scatter it about. So usually like that quite low for something like this. Low. Ninja brushing is quite high, so when I'm moving quickly, it's increasing the size. What else is new? F8, F9. So F9 was those little brushes. If you put the spacing up quite high and choose a couple of tones, you can get some nice in-betweens like that. And it remembers the various settings for like follow mode and all these other things. Rotation follow, Shift R. I think that might have changed now. Oh yeah, no, it also does it. Shift R is what I'm talking about. Shift R is what changes it. I'm thinking of an older setting. Okay, so choose a couple of tones. Oh, if you hold down F while drawing, it turns into additive mode. You can't see it so well. If you press 5, you can reduce the opacity of what you're drawing. So if you do F with that, you can kind of add a little bit of detail on top and kind of make things glow a bit. F7, F8, F9, F10 is this kind of stylized arty brush. And I usually like that for starting grass or something, or doing like clouds. You can make that follow. And if you press enter, you're going to see everything that I've done up to that point. F11 is these little rocks. Oh, another thing you can do, if you hold down X and move to the right, you can stretch or sort of shrink. And you can make it so that these are kind of up the way then. And dot these around. Scatter's quite high. Okay. And then X that way. Okay. Let's go down a couple of layers just to see if I can, yeah, put that in the back of those. There you go, that's good. So the layers does actually benefit. F12 is just shapes, similar to the rocks here, but more like just solid shapes. If you press the right arrow key, it changes the brush bank. Right, there's another new 12 brushes. So F1 gives you these sketchy looking. Let's actually clear the screen. Okay, clear the screen and it's reset the memory. So goodbye forever. This is some sketchy grass. F2 is some moss. I'm not sure how to define this brush pack just yet. The first set is going to be the Ghibli arty pack, and this set is going to be the sketchy pack maybe. And do various things with that. We got some little stalks here, and we've got other little stalks. We've got mushroom heads. What else have we got? We've got little mushrooms. And these are just painted, hand-painted little sprites that I've created. We've got these pre-rendered flowers. So these are already in full color, right? And it's just a few, the 3D models that I've rendered to sprites and made a few different angles of them, right? I think this is another set. Let's see that one. Yeah, there's another set of different flowers here, and another set here. You see, this is quite a mix of styles, this pack. So eventually, once I've got more 3D objects, I'll make that into sort of the pre-rendered pack with these flowers and stuff. And F12, so a lot of 3D flowers there. That's that pack. And if you push the right arrow key again, you actually see the brush set change. So there's 0, 1, and 2, right? So that was 1, and let's just press enter. see all those, and then Shift C, and we're on pack 2, so press it, pack 3, so press F1, and we've got these rocks. They just get sort of spruced around. I'm going to do X and sort of stretch them. I can change the rotational range down, scatter down. Yeah, kind of good for building up a ground. If you press P, it actually goes into perspective mode where it makes the things in the distance smaller, and you can kind of just drag forward like that. Right, you might want to press one of the opacity numbers just to sort of blend that out a bit. Right, so F2 is this kind of pixel style block. Oh, speaking of pixels, I forgot to show you a cool feature. If you press the key just under the escape key, I don't know what you call it, the apostrophe backwards, it's got a line on it, it's got a little kind of right angle. Anyway, it looks like it does that. It looks like it does that. Sorry, I was trying to describe what the button looks like, because I can use this to describe the button. It's got a symbol like that on it. It's got a little apostrophe, and it's got a line like that, all in the same key. And I never use it. Who uses it? So I've put it so that it turns it into pixel mode, right? And if you use the plus and minus keys, you can increase or decrease the pixelation, and it just gives you this pixel art. If you ever want to save what you see, press B. Now this isn't really working properly yet, but if you press B, you see it changed things a little bit. Don't worry about that. It actually saved a better version of it, right? And once it's saved, you go to your app data folder, because just now I don't have an actual save folder, and GameMaker has saved it to its own little place. So BlitPaint V02 I'm on, and as you can see, it's saved the pixel version of that. I'm also trying to get it to save with transparency and things. So this one's the screen bake, and then it saves the sprite image, and then it tries to see, it takes this bottom left corner pixel, and any other pixels that color it makes transparent. It's a little hack for making transparency, but I'm trying to find out a better way of doing that. Okay, so back to this guy, I'm going to turn off the pixel mode. You can see this is quite a nice brush for kind of drawing with. I find like that style. So if you had a nice background, let's do a nice red background, right? And then make both tones black. You can build up this little kind of city line. In fact, yeah, we're in layer 3, that's fine. It gives us some room to maneuver here. Alright, I'm just going to make a little industrial city. So I've seen. See, it uses up the memory really quickly. And before it bakes it down, I'm just going to press O. Right, O will switch this off, and it will no longer start counting the strokes or give me any undos. So that no longer does its thing, and I dare say it needs improved a bit. Okay, so we'll build in this little city. So I've turned off the undos, basically, is what I've done. Oh. It's quite nice for scattering this around, scatter by pressure. Let's see, I want to do some sort of flying birds or something. Yeah, there we go. It's like a broken ruined city. And then you can go to the layer below, so down one, and going to choose a little bit of a lighter red range and start blocking in some tones here. I'm going to do less opacity. Now, with opacity, it's a little bit funky. It kind of overwrites what's below it instead of adding up. And I'm still trying to suss out the blend modes, and my brain's not very good at understanding blend modes, but If anyone can help me with blend modes, I'd really appreciate it. I'm just a bit noobish with how pixels are supposed to blend with that. And there's all these different modes you can use, extended blend mode, and there's all these different settings for it. Right, so there's that. You've got something in a particular style there, and you can draw behind stuff. So just make sure you go up a few layers if you do intend to go back behind stuff. And if you want to bake everything down to layer 0, you just press B, and that will free up the memory. So you can press O to switch memory, the undo memory back on, and that way you can't really deal with these pixels anymore. Like, they're just there, but you can pick colors from them, and you can do some, like, add little windows or broken bits, scattered quite high. Let's do the opacity a bit higher. Let's make these look like runes. Okay, I can't do any straight lines yet, but you don't really want that for this. Who wants straight lines with stylized art anyway? You just want to... What you can do, actually, you can put the catch-up down very low, and that will make the mouse sort of... So if you move very quickly, it takes a little bit of time for... See that? So if I move really quick, it will take a bit of time for the sort of sprite generator to catch up. I can do these little straightish lines really quickly. Get a little bit of perspective, something in there. Make it smaller and drape a few little cables here. Alright, we've kind of ran out of memory. Now I'm pretty sure if I press enter, I'm going to break it. So I'm going to just press enter to show you what happened. I might lose the background. Nope. Okay, did it right. Thank God for that. I've been testing the crap out of this and making sure everything's working, and so far so good. You can see it sort of relaying what I did. So press B is going to bake it. It also saves it when you press B. Saves it to a folder. So you type in app data %. Go to the top. So go to app data local. Go into the version of BlitPaint that you're using, and you'll see them there. So you see here it's removed the background, which just gave us this. Now this works fine as long as the edges aren't soft. Otherwise they kind of like get muted to a background color. They blend with a weird background color. But this kind of works. So that is basically it. And in these ones, it's kept the background color. That's basically it. I think I showed you all the brushes. Maybe not. Let's put that in pixel mode. Cool, right? We've got pixel art. And then you can change the chunkiness of those pixels. And then take that into wherever and clean it up a bit. Other brushes in this set are, let me just put that back up to catch up full. If you hold down S and move left or right, it will increase or decrease the brush size. So I'm going to put that back to that. Let's choose these and just put in some plants in the foreground. In fact, I can put them all the way in front. Oops, daisy. If you do Shift R, it's going to follow. Oh, I can't draw anymore. What's happened? Ah, yeah, I pressed something. It feels like you're in a kind of jungle now, and there's just putting these in the foreground is quite a cool idea. So that is okay. We're only at F3 actually. So F3 is these leaves, and again you can choose the two tones. Just like that. Even make like a generic fire effect. There's little sprites now. There's this 3D modeled leaf which should be in the other section. I need to organize things a bit. There's these little sprites as well, and we're getting into like pixel sprites now. So that is going to be another section. These are all just little tasters of what's to come. These are sprites, more sprites of like grapes, strawberries, purple grapes, cherries, blueberries, little apples, and oh, I think I pressed calculator. All right, yeah, and that's pretty much that. So that was all the brushes, some of the settings, everything working quite nicely. You can change the rotation here. You can also hold down R and move left and right, but it's a bit broken. So it's easy just to come here and do that. That gives you the exact angle that you want. See that? So you can get things exactly how you want them. Spacing just delays the time it takes to show a new one. So if you hold down, it's still going to make them happen, but it's certain times. So you might find you'll have to sort of hold for a little bit in some cases. So you can put that all the way up, and then that kind of stamps for you. I may have a different mode for that, like a one-off kind of stamp mode where it just resets itself. But so far it's pretty good, it works. Scatter and scatter you've seen. Okay, cool, so that's it. Hope you enjoy watching this video, and I will make it available to test, and any sort of feedback or anything, feel free. And if anyone knows Game Maker, help me out with the opacity settings, that would be great. Thanks for watching, bye.